20. So Josiah made changes. He reinstated the Passover, reinstated temple worship, reformed the land. Verse 20. After all this, after all the reforms, when Josiah had prepared the temple, up comes who? Necho, king of Egypt, came up to fight against Carchemish by Euphrates. And that's a famous battle, by the way. You could look at northern Syria, South Turkey, of this battle of Carchemish between Egypt and the city of Carchemish. By the Euphrates. And Josiah went out against him. But he sent ambassadors. So Necho sent ambassadors to Josiah. But he sent ambassadors to him saying, and it was quite a peaceful message. What have I to do with thee, thou king of Judah? I have come not against thee this day, but against the house wherein I have war, Syria. For God commanded me to make haste, forbear thee from meddling with God. Isn't that interesting that the king of Egypt is saying, God have told me that you should forbear? How many times, brethren, do we think that because maybe we go to church or we baptized, we're the only ones that can hear of the Lord? Somebody else out there, they might say, you know, that they're a believer, what have you. They may say God told them this, that. But within yourself, you say, you don't even keep the Sabbath. What are you talking about? Are you with me? Are you following my thought here? Josiah thought he had special privilege above the king of Egypt. So let's go on further. Nevertheless, and the king of Egypt, his messenger said, look, let's kick back. Who is with me that he destroyeth thee not? So he's saying, please, God is with me. Don't get involved. Nevertheless, Josiah would not turn his face from him. So he was intent on going to war with the king of Egypt. Nevertheless, Josiah would not. He disguised himself that he might fight with him, and hearkened not unto the words of Necho from the mouth of the Lord, and came to fight in the valley of where? Megiddo. Now that's a very interesting sight. There has been many battles fought there. I looked into it a little further. In the 15th century BC, there was war in that same place, Megiddo, between Egypt and the Canaanites. Believe it or not, the Canaanites, before the Israelites possessed the land. And then again, this battle that happened, 609 BC, they date it as, between Israel and Egypt. But Israel came off the worst for that battle. And then there's another battle that happened there. Was there not? Let me get my bearings. Oh, yes. In 1918, we have there was a general. General Allenby, who said he would not come into Jerusalem on horseback. He took heed to the word. But they had war with the Ottoman Empire of that day in 1918. And is there another war coming? I think there's another one that the word says is coming, is there? Is there? Have you heard of it? Sister Jenny, have you heard of it? There's one to come? Armageddon. At the end, when the 200 million man army, Revelation 9, if you to see that, was to gather there against Israel, God has promised there's another war coming in this specific region. Okay? Megiddo. Watch this space, is right. The word of the Lord doesn't fall empty, brethren. His word doesn't return unto him void. So the city was in great distress because what happened? And the archers, 23, and the archers shot at Josiah. In the battle, they shot at Josiah, who was disguised. And the king said unto his servants, have me away, for I am sorely wounded. His servants therefore took him out of the chariot and put him into the second chariot, the emergency chariot, I can think, fled off the war scene, and he died. And was buried in the sepulchres of his fathers. Verse 25, and Jeremiah lamented for Josiah, and all the singing men and the singing women spake of Josiah in their lamentations unto this day, and made them an audience of Israel, and behold, they are written in the lamentations. So Josiah, for whatever reason, didn't hearken. Maybe he felt superior to Josiah, to the Necho, king of Egypt. He didn't hearken. He made a bad decision. So then further, the next king, Jehoaz, 36. He had quite a pitiful reign, if you could call it that. Verse 2, son of Josiah, Jehoaz was 23 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And the king of Egypt, again, he came up. He put him down at Jerusalem and condemned the land in 100 talents of silver and talent of gold. So he made Israel a vassal state to pay money unto him, moved Jehoash from the throne, and he did something. And the king of Egypt made Eliakim, his brother, over Judah and Jerusalem, and turned his name to Jehoiakim. And Necho took Jehoaz, his brother, and carried him into Egypt. Sorry, verse 4. So we follow what happened so far. So then there was another king after this, and Jeremiah, the man, he gave him heed, he gave him stark warning. I'm going to quickly read about him. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign. Stay with me, brethren, please. There's a lot you can learn from this. Please don't get weary, please. And Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and reigned, 11 years, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. And Jehoiakim actually had some words. Let's flip over here to Jeremiah 36 and the 3rd verse. This word was given in the reign of who we just read about, Jehoiakim, who yet again was warned. He was warned, but did he take heed? Let's see. Jeremiah 36 and 3. So I'll go with 2. Take thee a roll of book, and write therein all the words that I have spoken unto thee against Israel and against Judah, and against all the nations from the day I spake unto thee. Verse 3. It may be that the house of Judah will hear all the evil which I purpose to do unto them, that they may return every man from his evil way. Are we there? That I may forgive their iniquity and their sin. So then Jeremiah called his scribe Baruch, the son of Neriah, and he wrote, saying, and Baruch wrote the word of Jeremiah, all the words, the book that the Lord, which he had spoken unto him, in a scroll, in a roll. Now I'm going to go over to verse 20. And they went in to the king into the court, but they laid up the roll in the chamber of Elishanam, the scribe, and told all the words in the ears of the king. So they left the scroll, imagine the scroll, left it there, went to the king, told him the words. They were told to go get the scroll, which they did, and they read it out to the king. Verse 22. Now the king sat in the winter house in the 9th month. We understand, if you read Exodus, we understand that the beginning of months is Abib, March/April. So if you go April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, the 9th month, the winter, it was December. So it was a cold day, I would to assume. And there was a fire on the hearth, on the fireplace, burning before him. And it came to pass that when Jehoiada had read 3 or 4 leaves, the king's there, he's reading the word of the Lord. How many times have we maybe done that? Oh, yeah, Revelation, yeah, it says that, all right. He read 3 or 4, sorry, where are we? I've lost my bearings. Yes. And it came to pass when Jehoiada had read 3 or 4 leaves, he cut it with a pen and cast it into the fire that was on the fireplace, the hearth, until all the roll was consumed in that fire was on the hearth. Did we get it? He was read the word of the Lord. He didn't want to hear it. He set it at naught. And we are told what happened to this man. It was quite an unfortunate end. And as the book of Proverbs tells us, he that is reproved often and hardeth his neck shall be destroyed without remedy. What I'm trying to do right now, brethren, is show you, show us, show me how they were warned, pre-warned by the man Jeremiah. They took it as nonsense. It was rubbish. Jeremiah 52 and 31. 52, 31. Stay with me. I hope someone's writing so you don't just eat your lunch and forget. 51. Sorry, 52, 31. Oh, yeah. Sorry, over here. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. That's not where I was looking for. Can you find where Jehoiakim's end? In fact, actually, I can find it over here. Sorry. Here we go. Verse 6 of 2 Chronicles 36, verse 6. So we saw it. We saw it. He had been pre-warned. He was in the winter house, burnt the word, didn't want to hear. I'm sorry, I'm throwing you all over the place, but 2 Chronicles 36, verse 6. And against him came up Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Against who? Against Jehoiakim. And bound him in fetters. He bound him in chains to carry him to Babylon. Are we hearing, brethren? He was pre-warned this would happen. He didn't want to hear it. And I'm sure as those chains was on his arms right then, he said, I wish I listened. I wish I didn't set the counsel of the Lord to naught. As Amos 3 and 7 says, if not there's a disaster in the city, shall the Lord not have pre-warned his people? Should he not have pre-warned his people? So he carried him in fetters to Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar also carried out the vessels of the house of the Lord to Babylon. So, but what we must realize is there was 3 waves that Babylon attacked Jerusalem. 3 waves. How many? 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3. The first being, if you're going to look, you don't really need to turn there, but in Daniel 1, he was in the first wave of captives to Babylon. If we look, it happened in the reign of Jehoiakim. Daniel was in this captivity here. Keep that in mind. And then there was another one, Jehoiachin, who I'm going to read about right here. Jehoiachin was 8 years old when he began to reign. Now, if you see in Kings, it says he's 18. This says 8, so there's some controversy there. I'm more inclined to think it was 18 because he did evil and, 8-year-old, of course, from the beginning, a child has that naughtiness in their heart, but an 8-year-old isn't going to reform the high places or what have you. So if we were to flip over, it would say 18, but just letting you know. So when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months, not very long, he didn't reign too long, in Jerusalem, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. And when the year was expired, King Nebuchadnezzar sent and brought him to where? Sent and brought him to where? Babylon. With goodly vessels of the house of the Lord, and made Zedekiah his brother. Jehoiachin had the same fate of the man before him, Jehoiakim. And it can get confusing. They have quite similar names. Jehoiachin, Jehoiakim, Zedekiah. Don't let that confuse you. Have a look into that, and I'll tell you, it's a beautiful reading when you get more. But see, with Jehoiachin, very interesting what happened with him. It's very interesting. And to show you, I'm going to turn over right now. Stay with me, brethren. So Jehoiachin did that which was evil. He got taken away. And you have to go sort of back and forth, here, there a little, to really get the flavor of this. Okay. So, Jehoiachin, if we're to look at Jeremiah 52:31. Oh, yes. So Jehoiachin was in prison, and it came to pass in Babylon, and it came to pass in the 7th and 30th year, so he's there quite a long time, of the captivity of Jehoiachin. Imagine that, 37 years he was in a prison. King of Judah, in the 12th month, in the 5 and 30th day of the month, that evil Merodach, or Amon-Merodach as he's referred to, king of Babylon, and he wasn't too bad actually, considering his name was evil Merodach. King of Babylon in the first year. So he began to reign. This is after Nebuchadnezzar and that dynasty had faded out. He what? In the first year of his reign, he lifted up the head of Jehoiachin, king of Judah, and brought him out of prison, and spake kindly unto him, and set his throne above the throne of the kings that were with. So imagine this, Jehoiachin found favor and was lifted above the kings that were in Babylon in the 37th year. Can you show, if you were to go to the Pergamon Museum in Berlin, there's a cuneiform tablet, not too big, about this big. There you go. Thank you, Brother Daniel. This, can anyone read that writing? I didn't think so. But this information harmonizes with the Bible. We are told in the Bible. This text says, and this is, you could say this is his food stamp, if you will. He was given daily provisions by the king for the rest of his life. But what it actually says is it has an order of oil and of victuals that he was given all the days of his life as he lived in Babylon. He lived at the 37th year, he lived a good life. Isn't that the mercies of God? So then, just quickly, and I said I didn't want to keep you weary. I didn't want to get you weary, is what I said. So we have Zedekiah. Verse 11, 36:11. And Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign. And reigned how long? 11 years. Did he do good? Did he learn from the mistakes of those before him? For he fully well knew what happened. But he didn't. Can you believe this? Can you believe, when Jeremiah says that the heart is desperately wicked and deceitful above all, you best believe it. So, Zedekiah. And Zedekiah was 21 when he began to reign, and reigned 11 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, his God, and humbled not himself before Jeremiah the prophet, speaking from the mouth of the Lord. Brethren, when the mouth of the Lord speaks, it might not be who you think it's coming from. It might be even a child. Does he not reveal these things unto the babes and hide them from the wise and the prudent? I believe he does. Greetings, Sister Kira. Good to see you. Sorry. He does. So we need to take stock to God's word. It baffles my mind how Zedekiah, after fully well knowing what happened, remained stubborn. Jeremiah 37. Let's go over so we could have a bit of background information onto the warning he was given. Jeremiah 37 and 3 says, and Zedekiah the king sent Jehukal, the son of Shelemiah, and Zephaniah, the son of Maaseiah, the priest. So that's only one person. Don't let that confuse you, the son of Shelemiah, Zephaniah. And you say, who is he talking about here? So it's Jehukal, the priest, to the prophet Jeremiah, saying, pray now unto the Lord our God for us. That's good words. Now Jeremiah came in and went among the people that had not put him into prison. For they had not put him into prison, sorry. Verse 6, then came the word of the Lord unto the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, thus shall ye say unto the king of Judah, who? Zedekiah, that sent you unto me to inquire of me. Behold, Pharaoh's army, which is to come forth to help you, shall return to Egypt into their own land. And the Chaldeans, aka the Babylonians, shall come again and fight against this city. So remember, they was already there. They took Jehoiachin. The city, now everyone's on edge, you could say. But he's getting a word from the Lord saying they're coming back. So it was, what happened? Jeremiah, oh yes. Oh yeah. So if we go